Hello everyone, today I want to introduce with you guys about one of the must visit spots when you come to Hanoi to the Oak Quarter, and that is the Heritage House at 87 Mame Street. And if you come here, you can learn a lot about the history of the Oak Quarter, as well as the rich cultural and traditional heritage of our capital, Hanoi. And this house would have been around the end of the 19th century, and actually not only this one, but most of the ancient houses in the Oak Quarter was built at that time, and most of them were made of straw, bamboo, or wood. And the house owner have changed many times, but it still maintains the original structure. And the first owner was a Vietnamese rice trader. They lived here from the end of the 19th century to 1945, and after that the rice trader sold his house to a Chinese family who sells herbal medicine, and this family lived here until for 10 years until 1954. And after that, the government requisitioned the house and allocated it to 5 families living until 1999. And in 1999 or 1998, the government took the house back for one more time for renovating and preserving. And the government also used it as a historical site to advertise the history as well as the cultural tradition of Vietnamese people and the Oak Quarter to tourists. And in 2004, the house was recognized as part of Vietnamese national heritage, and that's the history of the house. And now I want to talk about the architecture of the house. So people often say that this house is a mixture of traditional Vietnamese style and French architectural style. So you can see that this house is quite narrow and it has a tube shape, and it is a very popular structure of the ancient house in the Oak Quarter. So can you guess why? Well, it dates back to the end of the 19th century, and at that time the government imposed heavy taxes based on the width of the house. It means that the wider your house was, the more you had to pay, and therefore people started to build houses as narrow as possible to reduce the tax. But at that time they still need enough living space for their families and for the daily activities, right? So they just extended the house deeply to its back, and it formed a tubular layout, and that's why we call it this kind of house tube house. And so what is Vietnamese features and what are French architectural details here? So first, for the French detail, you can notice that it is painted yellow. Not just this house, but many other house in the Oak Quarter, especially in French Quarter, are painted with yellow color. So why? The first reason is that when the French came here, they felt that Vietnam has beautiful sunlight, and they believed that if houses were painted yellow, it could reflect against the sunlight well and make the house look more vibrant and beautiful. So the second reason was that Vietnam has a tropical climate. It's hot and humid, and if it is a favorable condition for the moss to grow, right? But if moss grows on yellow, it adds ancient beauty. But on the other hand, if they grow on white or other color, it just looks dirty. So for these two reasons, the French selected yellow to paint the houses. Additionally, you can also see the balconies, and this guy of design actually is a blend of modern. It is a design of modern French architecture. So, as I told you before, in the late 19th century, most Vietnamese houses were made of bamboo, straw, or wood. But when the French came here, they introduced brick and cement, which are modern construction material, and these materials combined with the modern architectural style and color choices give the houses, gave the buildings both the charm and durability. So that's the French architectural features. And so what are Vietnamese architectural details? For example, you can see the Vietnamese detail through the wooden furniture, the removable panels, and the door sills. I will tell you a little bit about the door sill. So it is seen as a boundary that separates the house from the outside world, and it serves to keep out dust and to prevent wealth and good fortune within the house to flowing out. And with this doorstep, people need to look down when coming in or leaving out the house to avoid tripping. And the act of looking down, like bowing, right, also shows respect showing the respect of the guest towards the homeowner. So in the back of the ancient house, you can also see a kitchen, a traditional kitchen of Vietnamese people. The kitchen plays a very important role in Vietnamese daily life. So why we say that? Because it is a space that intertwines the tradition, the prosperity, and culinary delights. And it is not only a place to prepare meal for the family, but also the heart of our home, because it is where family members gather to cook, to enjoy, to share stories about their school days, their work day, and this simple daily story help strengthen the bond between the family members as well as the generation. Okay, we got some stuff in the kitchen, like the traditional cupboard, the bed sheet L, which can be translated as slender weighted bowl. We got a conical hat, which made the beauty of Vietnamese women along with the outside. So we also got grapefruit, wonderful material for making the shampoo, and we also got the tripod stove, which is made of clay. It is simple, but it holds a deep meaning in our culture. And on the floor of the ancient house, of this heritage house, we can see it is a space for worshipping ancestors, and there is also an altar of ancestor on the second floor, and this is regarded as essential piece in Vietnamese culture. So let's talk about the history and the significance of ancestor worshipping in Vietnamese culture. So the first question is, since when Vietnamese start worshipping ancestor? Actually, we don't know exactly when we started this exercise, this custom. We just know that long time ago we had the definition of afterlife. So what is afterlife? A lot of Vietnamese people believe in afterlife. They believe that when a person dies, he doesn't really die, he just goes to another world, and we call it afterlife. And with that, we have the exercise of ancestor worshipping is our tradition, which is passed down through generation, and it is also a way to show respect, to show to pay tribute to our ancestor. And it is often take place. It often take place on traditional festival like Lunar New Year or the death day of our ancestor, or on some important occasions like moving house, starting a new business, and so on. So you will find that most Vietnamese families have an altar of ancestor at the highest and the most respectful spot in their home, right? But before we look into the altar of the Vietnamese, I want to give you some information about the 5 elements theory. So this the theory of 5 elements, also known as ngũ hành in Vietnamese culture, is a core concept in Chinese philosophy, and it describes the interaction of 5 fundamental elements, that is metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. And these 5 elements are thought to be in a constant state of flux, and their interaction are said to influence all aspects of our life, like wealth, health, and relationship. So how have the Vietnamese people incorporated this philosophy in a family altar? Actually, you can see it through a 5 fruit tree, which typically include bananas, pomelo, persimmon, pear, and tangerine, and it is placed on the family altars as an offering to our descended ancestor. But this 5 specific fruits can vary from region to region. And as you can see, there are also some other offerings on the altar, like burning incense, candle or oil lamp, flower, fruit, and water, and each of them has a specific meaning. So the first one, incense, is believed to carry our messages to our ancestor, and when the incense stick is burned, it manifests people's desire, and also it passes their prayers to deities. And incense sticks must be placed straightly to manifest people's honesty. And when we burn incense, it becomes a form of fire, and that is fire element. And we can also see ash in the incense bowl, right? And it represents the earth element. And incense bowl is made from wood, so it's a wood element. So we got water, fire, earth, and wood. So how about metal? Actually, metal is the oil lamp here, the oil lamp or the candle holder. It should be made from metal. So now we have 5 elements incorporated on the altar. So next one, about the flower. They are beautiful. They represent the beauty and the impermanence. So, nothing lasts forever. That's why we need to cherish every moment, everything we have, and every relationship, every friends around us. Okay, the next is the fruit. It is a symbol of abundance and fertility. It is like also remind us of labor value, and we need to work, we need to pay, we need to make many efforts before getting any result back. And next one, we have water. So what does it mean? It is one of the 5 fundamental element, right? And it is not only vital for existence, but also a symbol of purity and refreshment. Therefore, it represents our pure mind and the sincerity of our descendant toward our ancestor. So on the two sides of the altar, we have in the heritage house, we have 2 paintings, and the first one is the painting of peacock, which symbolize the beauty of women, and on the other side is the carp gazing the moon, and it reminds of we need to keep learning to improve ourselves to be a better version every day. So we can also see a model of flamingo on the turtle. So it is a very popular image in the pagoda or in the temple. It is often worshipped on this side, right? It was worship the true friendship, and it is like this combination symbolize the sacredness, longevity, harmony, the harmony between the heaven and earth, right? Because the flamingo is the one in the sky, in the heaven, and the turtle is the creature on the earth. And that is some information about the heritage house of 87 in the Quarter. And thank you for listening.